One World Cup, 3 countries, 16 cities, and somehow one trophy at the end of it all. Now, if that sounds a little chaotic to you, good. Because honestly, it kind of is. And the crazy part is, nobody's really sitting down and explaining how this whole thing actually works. So that's exactly what we're doing today. Stick around, because the last part of this video, that's where it gets really interesting. It started with a bid. So, back in 2018, FIFA had a decision to make. Who hosts the 2026 World Cup? And normally, right, one country puts their hand up, makes their case, FIFA picks a winner. But this time, 3 countries walked in together, USA, Canada, Mexico. And they basically said, what if we all did it? They called it the United Bid. And FIFA? FIFA said yes. Now here's the thing though. This wasn't just some fun little idea somebody had over lunch. This was strategic. 3 countries means 3 times the stadiums, 3 times the infrastructure, 3 times the money coming in. FIFA is a business at the end of the day. And this was a very good business decision. Why 48 teams changed everything? All right, here's where it gets interesting. 2026 isn't just a bigger World Cup in terms of location. It's bigger full stop. For the first time ever, 48 teams are competing. That's up from 32. Think about that for a second. More teams means more games. More games means more stadiums. More stadiums means, yeah, one country probably couldn't pull this off alone. So the 3-country setup wasn't just political. It was actually kind of necessary. In theory, sure, you could squeeze 48 teams into one country. In practice, you'd need an absolutely enormous number of stadiums, hotels, training grounds, transport links, all in one place. The USA, Canada, and Mexico together, they already had all of that sitting there. Ready to go. Who is doing what? Okay, so how is the work actually split between them? The USA is doing the heavy lifting. No surprise there. 11 host cities, 60 games, including the final. We're talking Los Angeles, New York, Dallas, Miami, Seattle, San Francisco, Boston, Atlanta, Kansas City, Houston, Philadelphia. That's basically a coast-to-coast football takeover. Canada is hosting in 2 cities, Toronto and Vancouver. 6 games each in the group stage. And Mexico, 3 cities, Mexico City, Guadalajara, and Monterrey. Another 6 games each. So if you're keeping score, USA gets the final, the semis, most of the knockout stage. Canada and Mexico handle a chunk of the group stage, and then wave goodbye. Slightly unfair? Maybe. But the USA has the biggest stadiums, so here we are, the stadium situation. Let's talk venues for a second, because this part is genuinely wild. MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, which is technically in New Jersey, by the way, but everyone calls it New York. Moving on, that stadium is hosting the final. It holds over 82,000 people. That makes it the biggest World Cup final venue in history. And across all 3 countries, a lot of these stadiums were already NFL stadiums, American football stadiums, which means they are enormous, modern, and built for exactly this kind of spectacle. Now, the irony of the country that insists on calling it soccer, hosting the World Cup in NFL stadiums, is not lost on anyone. But honestly, they look incredible. So we'll let it slide. The travel problem nobody talks about. Okay, here's where things get a little complicated. When a team plays their group stage games, they could technically be flying between countries for each one. Picture this. Game 1, Toronto, Canada. Game 2, Mexico City, Mexico. Game 3, Los Angeles, USA. 3 different countries. 3 different sets of visa requirements. 3 completely different climates. 3 flights. For the players, that's exhausting. For fans trying to follow their team, that's expensive. Really expensive. FIFA has tried to fix this by grouping nearby cities together for scheduling. But with 16 cities spread across an entire continent, there's only so much you can do. This is probably the biggest real complaint about the whole tri-host setup. And honestly, it's a fair one. Why Mexico and Canada are actually thrilled. Here's a detail most people completely miss. Mexico is about to become the first country in history to host World Cup games 3 times. And now 2026, that is a record. And they are very proud of it. Canada, on the other hand, has never hosted a men's World Cup, ever. Not once. So this is genuinely a massive cultural moment for them. And here's the fun part. Their national team actually qualified for the tournament too. So Canada's hosting and playing, which is exciting, unless they get knocked out in the group stage, which would be a little awkward. What this means for football. Step back for a second. Look at the bigger picture here. North America has over 500 million people, and football, or soccer, as they absolutely insist on calling it, has always been kind of a secondary sport in this part of the world, until now. This World Cup is FIFA's biggest bet on changing that. 60 games across the USA, fans filling NFL stadiums, American kids watching their very first World Cup match live. Billions of dollars flowing into the sport. If this works, and the early signs are saying it will, North America could become one of the most important football markets on the planet. Within a decade. That's not nothing. That's potentially the biggest shift in world football since the Premier League went global. So, how does it all work? 1 World Cup, 3 countries, 16 cities, 48 teams, 104 games, and somehow 1 trophy at the end. The answer is actually simpler than it sounds. You take 3 countries that share a continent, you divide the games logically. You give the biggest stages to the biggest host, and you let football do the rest. Is it messy? A little? Is it ambitious? Absolutely. Is it slightly chaotic? Yeah, it is. But honestly, that's kind of what makes it exciting. The real question here isn't whether 3 countries can host a World Cup together. The real question is, after all of this, after 104 games, packed NFL stadiums, and billions of new fans, will the USA ever actually want to give football back?